Halo Infinite has finally been revealed, including lots of gameplay, lots of new weapons and abilities, and Banished, and just tons of other things to talk about. But a new Waypoint post went up that explained and teased multiplayer, but went on to many other things about the story, kind of giving us an extended look on some screenshots, but also like the plot and what's going on in this game. So before we break it down, guys, be sure to smash that like button blue, as every like kind of boosts up the video up the YouTube algorithm and gets it out to other Halo fans. Thanks so much. Let's jump into it. This video is supported by Audible. Snag yourself a free Halo audiobook right down in the description below. To kick off the post, they say, "Enter the Banished." Our campaign demo takes place several hours into the story of Halo Infinite, so basically this is not the first mission in the game. I think that should be clear now to everyone. Wasn't clear in the demo. But joining the Master Chief and the pilot as their Pelican comes under fire from enemy anti-air encampments, which, by the way, those anti-air guns are certainly what we saw in the Mega Block product line earlier this month. While the discovery of Master Chief floating in space initially brought hope, the situation has gone from bad to worse as they find themselves being pursued by the Banished. There might actually be two factions, one of which being the Harbinger and also the Banished. They say, "We're introduced to a new brute war chief, Escriom, I think is how you say it, who has led the Banished to victory over the UNSC's forces and has taken control of the Halo Ring. While Chief is no stranger to battling against brutes, this is the first time facing the Banished and his most formidable opponent yet." They go on, "Our narrative team is crafting a story that will be entertaining and exciting for all players, so don't worry if you're new to the Halo universe or have no idea who the Banished are. From the beginning, our vision for Halo Infinite's spiritual reboot was to create a story and experience that's inviting to new players and welcomes them to fall in love with the Halo the same way many of us did years ago without prior knowledge required. Meanwhile, longtime fans will also pick up for the continuation of the events of Halo 5 Guardians and be rewarded with new mysteries to unravel. This carefully crafted narrative will be a great way for new players and fans alike to experience the Master Chief story." So now in the post, they talk about a ring to explore. They say, "When I first stepped out onto the Halo ring in Halo Combat Evolved all those years ago, I was transported and immersed into a mysterious, awe-inspiring alien world extending into the sky. It was a truly magical experience, even if the technology of the time was limited to the extent to which we could traverse the world. With Halo Infinite, we're now able to give players more freedom than ever before to explore a sprawling Halo ring. This demo shows off a small section of the open and expansive world we've crafted to deliver an epic Master Chief experience. The scale of the environment accessible to players is several times larger than that of the last two Halo games, Halo 4 and 5, combined with the opportunities to explore, or rather discover, hidden rewards and assault Banished fortifications in brand new ways. Halo has always been defined by its sandbox, the collection of weapons, vehicles, and characters that fuel emergent gameplay and free-form encounters throughout the campaign. In Halo Infinite, the team is building on the legacy of the iconic sandbox while evolving and infusing with new offerings. The campaign demo showcases two pieces of new equipment that Master Chief will be able to deploy on the battlefield. One, a portable shield, and two, a grappling hook. The drop wall is a fast deploying cover that can be used to fend off enemy fire or even deflect a grenade that we saw in the demo. The grapple shot opens up a new transversal options while providing new ways to engage enemies. Get up close and personal by grappling onto an enemy for a satisfying melee, pull a fusion coil to yourself and throw it at a target, or grapple to a ledge to rain fire on enemies below. This new equipment, along with various new weapons, open up more freedom and flexibility for players to showcase their own playstyles. And yes, these new additions to the sandbox will carry over to multiplayer. However, they will function a bit different as equipment items that can be picked up on the map. We look forward to talking about the multiplayer details soon. Now we got the welcome to the family portion. Last year with our Discover Hope trailer, it reads, "We got to share some of the incredible musical score being composed by our composer, Curtis." Don't know how to say that. With today's campaign demo, we're excited to introduce our second composer, Gareth Coker. We're huge fans of Gareth, known most recently for his work with the Ori soundtracks. Gareth's work can be heard throughout the campaign, including one of my personal favorite moments, where we refer internally as the Escasm's theme, or Escarm's theme. That's actually the Brute. So that Brute is actually not Hyperius, but actually however you read this name. So that Hyperius and this Brute are different. But they say Gareth joins Curtis Chris and our musical supervisor, Joel Yarger, to bring emotion and richness to the Halo Infinite experience by building on the musical traditions of the franchise. I'd also like to formally introduce 2 new members to our voice acting family as well, our pilot Nicholas Roy and the War Chief Ascarium, played by Darren D. Paul. We're thrilled to have Nicholas and Darren, who also voiced some of our favorite characters in other games, join the legendary Steve Downes and Jen Taylor to bring Halo Infinite's characters and story to life. For this next section, it says, now entering Slipspace. Halo Infinite was built entirely on our new Slipspace engine, which was designed from the ground up to serve as a foundation for the future of the franchise. The technical enhancements of the Slipspace engine are too extensive to truly get into here, but one call out is how we are able to pack in 10 times the processing per pixel, creating the most visually rich game we've ever made to go with the most open and expansive environment appear in a Halo game. That's just the start though, as Xbox Velocity architecture brings near instant loading. We'll pull the optimal version of your device, and we will be running the campaign at 60 FPS with up to 4K resolution. We are also designing Halo Infinite to grow and evolve over time, so we can continue to deliver experiences to our players well beyond launch. This is the most technically advanced Halo game ever created, paired with the most powerful console on the planet, allowing us to create the most vivid and immersive way to experience our universe. Now we have building a PC community. Late last year, we launched Halo the Master Chief Collection on PC, and at the time, we hoped that the Halo community would join us on the journey to this new platform. You have blown us away with your support, and I'm very excited that Halo Infinite will be available on Windows 10, Xbox Game Pass for PC, beta. Now, some people think or thought that this actually means that Halo Infinite will be playable on the Xbox Game Pass, which I think it will be, but at launch. They say that when Halo Infinite is playable and launches later this year, that on the Xbox Game Pass it will be playable, and the beta part is for the Xbox Game Pass because that program is still in beta form. And they also say Steam, in addition to the Xbox Series X and Xbox One family of devices. A dedicated team at 343 is focusing on ensuring Halo Infinite offers a best-in-class experience optimized for the PC platform. We'll be sharing more specifics as we get closer to launch, so stay tuned for more info on specs, special PC features, and more. So speaking of Steam, we actually have a bit of information on Steam that isn't elsewhere. So this is actually up on Steam now. Halo Infinite is. So this is pretty cool. The description reads, when all hope is lost and humanity's fate hangs in the balance, the Master Chief is ready to confront the most ruthless foe he's ever faced. The legendary Halo series returns with the most expansive Master Chief story yet. So they're not giving us much there, but let's move on to the bottom of the description. This reads, the legendary Halo series returns with the most expansive Master Chief story yet. Campaign. Basically, just everything that we just read here, but I'll read it, the new part here. Begin anew and step inside the armor of humanity's greatest hero to experience an epic adventure and finally explore the scale of the Halo ring itself. Multiplayer. By the way, that certainly sounds like they're kind of talking about the entire Halo ring is explorable, but I don't really know. It's not quite clear, is it? They say multiplayer. Halo's celebrated multiplayer returns. More information coming later this year. Requires Xbox Live Gold on console. Membership sold separately. Forge. Halo's epic content creation tool is back and more powerful than ever. More information coming later this year. And cross-generation gaming, the last section here, it says, Halo Infinite provides an amazing experience across the Xbox One and newer family of consoles as well as PC with stunning graphics and world-class cross-platform play. Now, that certainly seems to have just confirmed that cross-platform will be a thing, that Halo Infinite will be playable, friends will be able to play with each other via Xbox One all the way to PC and, vice versa, and with the Series X as well. They say, and so on the Xbox Series X as well as supported PCs, enjoy enhanced features like up to the 4K resolution at 60 FPS and campaign and greatly reduced load times, creating seamless gameplay that usher in the next generation of gaming. And lastly, it says 4K Ultra HD on Xbox One and Xbox Series X only, compatible TV required. Now, besides that, it just says the OS is Windows 10 and planned release date isn't really confirmed other than it just saying holiday 2020. You can't buy the game, just add it to your wish list on Steam. Isn't terribly surprising it's returning and that it's also more powerful, but I'm really eager to hear more about that and also multiplayer, of course. So back on Halo Waypoint, they talk about the flight plan. This is basically another word for beta. They say, when we first revealed Halo Infinite back in 2018, I spoke of our ambitions to kick off an early flighting program to bring the community along on our developed journey. The Halo Insider program and public flights have been instrumental in bringing the titles in Halo the Master Chief Collection and PC, providing critical feedback and input to help shape the best possible experience, building the game in partnership with our community. But given the unprecedented challenges of this year, we're not quite sure where we expect it to be in terms of broader public flighting. While not the full program we had envisioned, we have been working closely with the community on nearly every facet of the project. From the earliest planning, where we focused on broad feedback around the art style and story, to actual hands-on playtesting and focused feedback with confidential groups of community representatives over the past 2 years, Halo Infinite is being created in partnership with the community. The team is still working and accessing options for broader hands-on opportunities before launch, and we'll share an update when we can. But this process doesn't stop with launch. In fact, in many ways, feedback and community flighting will be even more important after launch as we partner together to continually evolve and update the game into the future. At the end of the post, they say, thank you for coming with us on this epic Halo Infinite journey, and we hope everyone enjoyed today's campaign demo. We will be back with more news, including our first details on multiplayer. We're in the home stretch now, and the team is working hard to put all the pieces together and polish the game while still navigating unprecedented challenges in our personal and professional lives. There's a lot of work to be done, but I'm so proud of how much the team has accomplished and the tremendous progress being made with every day. We appreciate your patience and understanding as we focus on the road to holiday. Seeing our social feeds overwhelmed with hope and excitement is inspiring and further fuels our ambitions to deliver the best Halo experience to date. We're incredibly fortunate to have such a long-standing and passionate community, and it's not a responsibility we take lightly. This has been a long journey and one that will continue well beyond launch as we partner together to evolve Halo Infinite over time. Thank you as always for supporting Halo Infinite and 343 Industries. It was an excruciatingly long time for us to be able to show you this demo, and I am excited for our next opportunity to share more with you and eventually set foot onto the Halo ring together. So I think the big takeaway from this video, guys, is the Banished are back and the ring may be explorable to much bigger extent than we realize. Obviously, the game is open world as predicted, as we saw with a lot of different pieces of evidence throughout the years, and there is just a lot to be excited for with the music and the art style. While I think there is a need for things to be polished, I think that there is a lot of potential here in the sandbox. The elements look really fun, and I'm going to be breaking down a lot more stuff here in the future, so be sure to subscribe, and I got all the details for you. I'm going to be breaking down literally every single thing that we could possibly break down, and I'm really excited to do it with you guys, so be sure to subscribe, and of course like this video if you haven't already, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one very, very soon. You take care, all right? Peace.